Hey guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angelisa and on this channel we talk about books, and today I'm doing kind of a random video that I thought of. Other people have done it for sure. I think I literally just saw just Ali post one, but basically I'm gonna be trying to finish some series that I'm in the middle of. I have 3 specifically that I really want to finish because I've been excited about them and like just to finish them, and if we have time I might continue some series that I'm doing, but I'll show you the 3 books that I'm thinking of reading. I'm actually like about to head out for work, so the other book is in my like bag all packed up for work because sometimes like I'll read on my lunch or on the bus or something. But the first one is As Good as Dead by Holly Black. I'll put it here so you can see. It's the 3rd book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I loved the first 2 so much, and I think I'm gonna love the 3rd one. I heard it's honestly the best one, so I'm really excited for that one, and we're gonna start off this video with that book. And the other 2 that I have, the first one is We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. This is the 2nd book to the Summer I Turned Pretty series. The 2nd season, or sorry, this is the 3rd book, not the 2nd book. The 2nd season to the show is coming out July 14th, so I'm like, I might as well just like finish the series before the show comes out again. And then the last one is Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. This is the 3rd book in the Cruel Prince trilogy. I just read it, the first one like last month and the 2nd one this month, so I'm gonna read this one and yeah, just finish the trilogy. There's a bunch of like side books too that I want to read, so I want to finish the main trilogy so I can read those. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. And yeah, we have like a romance, a fantasy, and a mystery thriller, so it's very good like variety of books for this video, and I think it'll help me not get into a reading slump because of that. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today, and I will talk to you guys a little bit later in the day, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, whenever I read next. Whoop. Hey guys. I cannot express how much I loved the first 2 books in this series. I'm on page 88, by the way, chapter 12. There is, how many pages? This is actually longer, I think, than the first 2. It's 455 pages. So, alright, where are we? I don't want to spoil too much. This will not spoil like the first 2 at all, actually. This is what I love about these books. You should read them in order, but like I can talk about them without spoiling the first one because they're about completely different like cases. So, you know, Pip, she's solved the first, you know, there's a first book, 2nd book. She's been solving a lot of cases. She's got some trauma that she's dealing with, and while she's dealing with that, she's getting some threats, and like, or what she feels are threats. And as always, you know, Mr. Detective, so windy out, Mr. Detective is not helping her, so she is gonna have to like deal with it herself. And that's basically like the synopsis, is that, you know, she's dealing with some threats, things are escalating, and she needs, and like this is like basically I think she is the case in this book basically, instead of like someone else or someone's brother or someone's sister or someone's girlfriend or something. So yeah, so far really good and very interesting perspective to be reading from right now, just because like she sounds so different from before. It's definitely like a lot darker. I noticed that this is like, it's almost like not YA anymore, it's now like NA. She is like graduating, going to college soon, so I guess it's like 18-ish years old versus before her being like 15, 16, 17. So yeah, I will say that it's more mature. There's a lot more mature language. It doesn't have like any spice or anything like that, but just like more mature language, more swearing, more gore. There's like a man just standing there. My house backs onto a park, so it's very awkward. But yeah, so that's where we're at. I will give you guys an update a little bit later once I've read more. But yeah, so good so far, so good. Guys, Okay, I just got to like part 2 of this book, which is about halfway. It's page, what page is it? Where's the page number? Where's the page number? God, why am I struggling? Page like 249, more than like halfway through. And I don't remember what I said earlier. I think I said something like I love the series because like each book is like a new story. I don't think I said you don't need to read in order. I don't think I said that, but I just want to say definitely read this series. Siri, shut up. Sorry, I have headphones in and I said Siri and yeah. Anyway, definitely read this series in order. I'm like gobsmacked at the amount of Easter eggs there are in this book from, well, not in this book, in the first 2 books about this book, and just like the entire setup. And if this is what Holly Jackson had planned from the first book, like that is insane, and also makes sense why there was such a quick turnaround between each book. But yeah, this is the most like intricate mystery series I've ever read. I mean, no, Inheritance Games is up there as well, but I just mean like as a thriller, like mystery thriller, this is really good. It's just really, really good. I'd recommend it to everybody. So yeah, I'm really liking it so far. We'll see how much I finish. It does feel a lot longer than the first 2 though. Like it doesn't look that thick, but it is like 455 pages. I don't know, and it's just like really long. But yeah, things just got really tense. There are some big reveals, some big twists. One of the twists like I saw coming like a few chapters ago. Like I was like, okay, it's either this person or this person, like, but we're only halfway through the book, so we're gonna see what the end ends up being, and maybe there's some more twists and turns, because I'm pretty sure that happened in the first 2 books where like you think that like it's over, but then it's like not over or something like that. So yeah, but yeah, really liking it. I'll check in later. All right guys, it's been a few days. That's crooked. Sure, it's been a few days and I feel like we haven't talked about this. We definitely haven't, because I just finished it. Yeah, and oh my god, I first of all love Holly Jackson's writing. What I didn't know was that she was a British author and that she originally writes it like in Britain, kind of like based in Europe, and it's been like not translated but like adapted for the States, for the US versions. So that was interesting because I was listening to the audiobook and it was completely different. Well, not completely different, it was the exact same story, just like cities and some names were different. But yeah, I loved this so much. I love Pip and Ravi so much. This story felt like I was reading 2 separate books. If you don't know, the book has a part 1 and a part 2, so at about 250 pages you get to part 2, and that's about halfway through the book, and it literally feels like you're in like a whole other plot. Like it's a continuation, but it could be like its own book. These could almost be like 2 novellas. There was so much going on, but it was like the right amount, and I understood why this was so long for that reason. And yeah, it was just so well written, and the way everything tied up, and oh my gosh, the ending there, like I literally cried. I was so sad, and then had like a little moment of happiness, but I was still a little bit sad because of what had to happen. But yeah, I'm giving this 5 stars. This was by far my favorite book out of the series. I loved the first 2. They were both amazing, but this just took it to like a whole other level. It had so many levels to it, like so many layers. I have nothing else to say. Like I have no more thoughts. It's just, yeah. Like, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. So I want to say like the series is complete, but I just remembered that Holly Jackson came out with like a prequel to this series literally like a few months ago, and I haven't, so I think I'm gonna read that first. It's like 70 pages or something. Let me grab it. Okay, yeah, so this is like a little prequel. It's literally, oh, it has like a preview of the first book, so that's why, oh my god, literally like this much of the book is just a preview of the other books. Anyway, it has 170 pages in this novella. From what I understand, it's like Pip going to like one of her friends' like little murder mystery party. So I don't think it's like an actual like murder mystery, but it's just like a fun like thing to read. So yeah, then I'll officially be done this series. I think I'm gonna read this, and then I think I'm gonna read We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han, because I'm excited and I want to read the summer. I mean, I want to watch The Summer I Turned Pretty tonight, like the rest of season 1. Like, I'm rewatching it before season 2 comes out in like 5 days in Canada. So yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys a bit later. Hey guys. So I read Killjoy yesterday. It literally took me like an hour. It was so quick. It was actually really, really cute. It basically is like, it takes place right before A Good Girl's Guide to Murder when Pip does the capstone project, and this is kind of like what inspired her to do that capstone project. So she goes to her friend's house and he's having a murder mystery party with all of their friends. So you also get to see a lot of like Pip's friends and like characters that are in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And they're all playing characters and playing this like murder mystery game where they have to solve the murder of someone. And because the answer that ended up being felt too easy, Pip was inspired and ended up wanting to solve the case of Andy Bell and whether or not Sal Singh killed her, because it seemed like a too easy like answer that the boyfriend killed her. So yeah, that was so cute. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was just really adorable, and I loved being inside Pip's mind again. She's so determined and like wants to solve like every little problem, and I love it. It's adorable. I'm gonna move on to The Summer I Turned Pretty because I don't know, I just want that vibe right now. It's just what I'm feeling. It's not that long of a book. I totally forgot what the first 2 were about because it's been a while. How many pages are there? Okay, there's like 300 and something pages. 291. You can see the letters he sent. That's adorable. I just said adorable. Anyway, I am going to probably look up like a quick synopsis of the first 2 books because I don't really remember, and then I'm gonna read this.
Hypnotized, I don't know why she got me feeling this way. She's got a way about her. She's got a way about her. I'm mesmerized like every night by every word she'll say. She's got a way about her. She's got a way.
Oh my goodness. I need to put this light on because the lighting's weird. Alright guys, I actually am audiobooking this at the same time as reading it. I didn't realize, so I knew that I wanted to do this like video a while ago, so I'd put the audiobook on hold and it became available like last week, but I didn't realize that it's narrated by Lola Tung, who plays Belly. I literally started listening and I'm like, wow, this girl really sounds like Belly from the show. And then I looked at it and I'm like, wait, Lola Tung, isn't that the girl who plays her? And then I was like, Christopher Binney. So they literally got the characters, like they re-recorded the audiobooks and got the characters who play them in the show to frickin' do the audiobooks. Like, I want to reread the first 2 with this. Ah! Anyway, thoughts on the book so far? Not the best. It's, if you've read any of these, the writing style is just very, very immature and not very like fleshed out. Like the plot isn't very fleshed out. This is going back and forth a lot. It's not going in like order. There's a lot of like flashbacks to stuff that happened in between this book and the last book, but I don't understand why we didn't just like go through those things. But anyway, that's what's going on. Really enjoying it, but it's just the writing style isn't my favorite. But yeah, I'm on like page 100. I don't want to like spoil anything because this is after the first and second book. I did read summaries of the first and second so I could like remember what they were about, and I was like, okay. Because once the show came out, my like storylines kind of got crossed about what was in the book and what was like added from the show. So yeah, I'm excited and interested to see how the show follows the books, like the second and third one, if it includes anything from them at all. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading. It's giving not really summer vibes. I'm very enjoying the university scenes, like, and like Belly's like internal dialogue about like wanting to make friends and like how hard it is and like how hard you have to try to make friends, and that like you assume that like it's just like this, like you're just gonna meet someone in college and you're gonna be best friends for the rest of your life, but it's actually a lot harder. You have to kind of like put work into like meeting people. So that's been really fun. And yeah, this is very much giving like coming of age, like into my late teens and 20s, which is fun. The voice totally took me by surprise, but I'm so happy that they did that because it was so good, so good.
Absent thought, maybe I should take you up on that ride, 'cause I'm out of my mind. And it's a little too late, there's just enough time. If we let it all out, could I swallow my pride? And I should just walk home, but we're both scared of being alone.
I'm literally like on a stool right now with my camera up in my window because the lighting is just better up here. Let me put my camera higher. Hold on. I'm gonna use some books. I'm praying that my cat doesn't want to come up here right now. No, you can't come up right now, okay? Alright guys. Hi. I finished We'll Always Have Summer yesterday. I do have some thoughts on it. So first of all, this book, like I said earlier, I audiobooked it and it was narrated by Lola Tung and the guy who plays Conrad, which is a lot of fun. And in this we got to understand Conrad a lot more. I like him a lot more in the books versus the show. I just feel like you get to understand him so much more in the books. Like you get his perspective on things, you get to understand like why he's so moody and why he's acting this way and why he's like kind of playing around with Belly. But at the same time, I have to remember like these are all teenagers, like they're gonna behave like teenagers. Like you can't expect the most maturity from them because they're teenagers, so they're gonna behave like teenagers. I really hated Jeremiah in these books, like so much. I like it just, he's so much better in the show, and I hope that they don't follow the same storyline for Jeremiah in the show. I hope they change it a bit because yeah, the plot of this entire book was kind of stupid and just like I don't understand why, but I really liked the ending. When I found out that this was about what it's about, like the main plot in this, like the main thing that's happening in this book, I assumed that it was going to be like 5 to 10 years after the last book, but it was literally like a month or so, or like a few months. So I was kind of like, okay. I didn't really understand that, but yeah. So as a series, I would give the entire series 3.5 stars, but this book alone I'm going to give 3 stars. I'm pretty sure I rated the first one 2 stars and the second one 3 stars. But yeah, I'm gonna give this one 3 stars. It was good. It was cute. There were some moments that I really did like, and the letters were adorable. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think the series would have been a lot better if it also didn't like jump over so much time between books and just like gloss over like time that Belly had with each of the Fisher boys. But yeah, because you don't get to see a lot of like relationship development or any really like character development. But yeah, Belly kind of just stayed immature until the very end. There's a little bit of growth in her, but I remember why I didn't like the first book so much was because she was so annoying. But yeah, but I like maybe I like this better because it was in Lola Tung's voice, and I like the Summer I Turned Pretty like show a lot better. But yeah, so after that I moved on to Queen of Nothing. I read the first like 4 chapters. I'm on page like 40 and I'm liking it so far. It's really good so far. It picks up right after the last one. The only thing I don't like about these is like it's just so, it's almost too fast paced. Like too much happens in the beginning that I'm already kind of like, what is going on? Like I almost need to reread it because I feel like I wasn't paying attention properly. But we shall see whether you came for the lore or the love or perfection. Okay, one thing I realized that like this series is not a romance series. Not that someone told me it was. I think I just thought it was a fantasy romance. But I realized every time I thought romance was happening, it was just betrayal. It was just betrayal and lies and wickedness. So yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna continue reading this later on today. But I also picked up last night for part of this video. I guess if I finish it, it's not piquing my interest so far, but I picked up It Starts With Us. I wanted to, like, I pre-ordered it, and then after it came out, everybody was saying how shitty it is. So I haven't been like wanting to read it, but it is technically like part of a series, so I thought I would just read it for this video and just get it done. But I'm already like 2 chapters in, and I think there's already a letter to Ellen. Yeah, literally page 11, the Ellen letters returned, and I just feel like we didn't need them again. So yeah, I think I'm gonna like read a quick summary of It Ends With Us, just to remember like all the details about Atlas. I remember like her relationship with Ryle very well, and like a little bit about Atlas, but this is starting off from when they're adults. So yeah, it literally picks up like right, like literally right, like the moment after I think the epilogue in It Ends With Us. So anyway, that's what we have for the rest of this video. I'm gonna go do some other stuff, and then I will be back reading later. Hey guys, I just finished showering and I've got oil on my face, so I thought I'd talk to you about It Starts With Us while I like do my gua sha, because it's so boring to me, and that's why I never do it. Because I finished it today. It was very, very fast read. It took me like 3 to 4 hours to read. This was, I'll start off with my rating, I guess. So first of all, I'm probably gonna give this 3 stars. So the discussions on domestic violence were a lot better, and there were a lot of mentions of like childhood trauma and abuse, and because of that, I will say like trigger warnings galore in this book. In the beginning of the book, she put something that she was saying that like by the way, I don't want any comments about my washing and if I'm doing it wrong. Literally do not comment. In the beginning of the book, she put something about like how like this is meant to just be like a lighter book, like a happy book for Alice and Lily. This is not that type of book. It still talks about very, very complex issues and topics, and there's no trigger warning at all. Like no trigger warning. Like it makes for a good book if you know that that's what you're walking into. But I can agree that like if you don't, it's kind of like what? Like it was hard for me to read some of the scenes, to be honest, especially because like I grew up in a pretty turbulent household, so just some of the scenes were like just kind of hard to read. And I think they'd be hard to read for anybody, to be honest, even if you haven't experienced that stuff. Atlas and Lily did have like a really good bond in this because of their childhood trauma, and like they established it in their teenagehood. But at the same time, I feel like there might be like issue with that, kind of like being trauma bonded like that. So it was kind of weird. They are super cringe though. Oh my goodness. Like, can we just stop with the Ellen and the Finding Nemo? Like, why? Like, we didn't need the Ellen letters to come back, and they did, and I don't know why. I'm pretty sure like you're supposed to do something up here, but whatever. I'm glad that like Collin didn't romanticize Ryle in this. Like, if you don't hate Ryle in this book, like I don't know what's wrong with you. Even in the last book, like I understood why people liked him at first, but like once he started being what he was, I don't understand why you'd like him at all. Like, he's truly portrayed as the piece of shit that he is. Elisa, his sister, did have like a redemption arc in this. I remember in the first one absolutely hating her because she was kind of like not 100% like with Lily. Like, she was kind of like on the fence. At least I felt. I didn't really like her that much, but in this she was like 100% backing Lily. Like, she did not care, so I liked her for that. This book did feel kind of lazy because half of it was like rereading Lily's letters. Like Atlas was rereading her letters, and it's just like, we've already seen those, we've already read them. Like I don't like that's a lot of, it was barely a 300-page book, so I don't know, that kind of bugged me a little bit. One thing I did like about this is the additional plot with like Atlas's family. I loved Josh. I thought he was a great character. I thought it was a great additional plot line. I'm not gonna spoil any, I don't want to say much because I don't want to spoil anything, but the mention of the title "It Starts With Us" in this book was so cute and just hit home like it did for "It Ends With Us." So yeah, that was great. All in all, I do feel like Collin tried to rectify some of the mistakes that she made in the first one, but the romance was meh and kind of boring because there wasn't much development, because like I guess Collin assumed that like the development was already there and we just wanted to see them like get together. This also just feels more like a literary fiction than a romance to me, kind of like Reminders of Him, where the focus was very much on, I think it was Kendra was her name, being like a single mom, and then that dad or whoever he was like the romance was like a side thing. And I feel like that was kind of what this was. Like it was dual POV and all that, but they also had a lot going on in their own, Rui, stop. They also had a lot going on in like their own lives that added to the book, which I did enjoy, and that's why I rated this 3 stars. Otherwise this book probably would have been like 2 stars for me, to be honest, because it didn't, like, there was nothing. I really did enjoy It Ends With Us. It was one of the first books I read, and like now that I've read more and like, I don't know, I've just like had more time to think, I probably wouldn't rate it like 4.5 or 5 or whatever I rated it back then. I'd probably rate it closer to a 4, because there are some things that, it's not what's wrong with the book, I think it's the marketing around the book and the author itself and like how she markets her books. Not to get too controversial, but even this book, like it talks about topics that I think should have a trigger warning, even if it's not happening in it. Like, no, there is one scene that I was literally like, see, no, I need a trigger warning for this. Like, not that I was put into a state, but it's just like, it's good to know like what you're walking into is all I'm saying. And obviously I should have looked it up, that is on me, but I do feel like, I don't know, it's almost like Collin Hoover is like trying to write dark romance, but like not at the same time. Stop it. I don't know. Anyway, oh my god, there was this quote that I was like, this makes no sense. What was it? It's been months since I made Atlas hide out in here, but it still smells like him. This literally makes no fucking sense. There was literally one scene where Atlas is in this closet and she's saying that like literally 6 months later or something, it still smells like him. Like, girl, seriously? Like, sometimes that stuff bothers me, because it's like, at least be realistic. Like, don't make me like pause in the middle of a book just to question like the realisticness of something as simple as that. Like, I understand like I read fantasy, I'm not stupid, I get it, it's supposed to be fiction it's supposed to be fiction and whatnot, but like something as simple as that, like why even add that in if it's not possible? Anyway, that was my long rant about It Starts With Us. I've become a lot more critical of authors and books, I think, since I started reading like almost 2 years ago. Well, not started reading like ever, but started reading again. That was totally my cat breaking something upstairs. Anyway, don't know if you guys noticed, but I got a iPad mini to read. Yeah, this is it. I read on Libby a lot and sometimes Apple Books, but right now I'm reading The Queen of Nothing, as you saw. But this is like another book off of our series list at least. But yeah, I'm gonna read The Queen of Nothing, finish it. I'm on chapter 10. I'm about like a third through the book. So yeah, I will update you guys on that a little bit later. Hey guys, I'm back with an update. Wow, what just happened? I'm back with an update on The Queen of Nothing. So this looks like it's recording weird. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, so I finished it today. I had a few chapters left and then I just got really tired and I wanted to like finish it when I was able to and like, I don't know, conscious and like aware, not feeling tired and like I'm not gonna give it the energy and time it deserves. So yeah, to put it very simply, I think this was a very, very good book. I loved the trilogy overall. As a trilogy, I'd probably rate it 4.5 stars, but this book in particular, I'm gonna rate 4.25 stars. So this picks up a few months after The Wicked King, and we're following Jude as she deals with the aftermath of the ending of The Wicked King. I thought that this book was kind of fast-paced. A lot happens. It's only 300 pages and so much happens just within a chapter. I feel like Holly Black did a little bit more telling than showing in this book, and the ending felt very kind of, I don't know, it was just really fast. Everything was just taken care of very fast. Everything was fast. And yeah, some parts of the ending I was like, that is not realistic. And I don't mean like fantasy realistic, I mean like realistic in the way that Holly Black wrote the characters and how the ending ended up being. But either way, I still really love this trilogy, and I'm definitely gonna read The Stolen Heir, and I think it's The Prisoner's Throne or something like that when that comes out, because yeah, I just love this world. My best friend Rowan said it best. She said that like the characters and the writing and stuff are not her favorite part, but it's the world and just like how obsessed she is with it. And I think it's because it's kind of like an urban modern fantasy where it's taking place as if like the human world still exists, just on the other side, and the way that our human world is. Like, not like how in A Court of Thorns and Roses everything is still very like medieval-ish, if that makes sense. In this, like, the human world is like modern. They have video games and iPads and iPhones and all that stuff. So yeah, it's interesting to see like how the two worlds. Rui, what do you want from me? Oh my god. I just want to do this outro, but he's not gonna let me. It was just interesting to see how the two worlds kind of like communicated and like intertwined together in this book. Anyway, yeah, so that's all the books I'm gonna read for this reading vlog. I'm just gonna go grab all of them, just do like a quick wrap up, because I realize it's been like a long time. Okay guys, these are all the books that we read in this video. So we have As Good as Dead, which I rated 5 stars. This is one of my favorite books of the year now. I loved it as the ending to a trilogy. I also read the novella in the series Killjoy. It's a prequel, and I rated that 4 stars. I thought it was pretty cute. I read We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. I rated this 3 stars. Honestly, I started watching The Semi Turned Pretty season 2 the other day after I read this, and I want to reread the series now using the audiobooks with Lola Tung and like Gavin and Chris and stuff, because it's just, I don't know, I feel like the vibes will be cuter, and I feel like it'll just get me like in the book and not pay attention to like how immature the writing is, if that makes sense, because Lola's voice just makes it feel like the show. I don't know why. And then I read It Starts With Us, which I also rated 3 stars. And yeah. And then I finished The Queen of Nothing, which I'm rating 4.25 stars. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you've read any of these series, or if there's any series that you're like in the middle of that you want to finish. I will probably end up doing another one of these videos because there are some series I'm probably going to be starting and that I'm still in the middle of that I'll have to get off my list. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps YouTubers when you do that. And I hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!
And that's how you throw it on away in a small town.